just jump right into it. If 49ers and Seahawks finish with the same record, who would win the division, assuming the 49ers win Week 17? Well, the NFL is interesting because head-to-head is your first main tiebreaker, and if the Seattle Seahawks won the earlier one, which they did, the Niners win the next one, then that kind of gets thrown out the window. So actually, the next one you see here, divisional record, is next, and then common games, so wins against common opponents. So it looks like, and again, we have to throw the schedules for both teams here in just a little bit, but it looks like this will not be a problem where both teams have the same record. I feel like one of us, whether it's them or the 49ers, will lose 2 times to finish out the season, meaning the head-to-head matchup, the second to last week of the year, and then one of the other 4 games. So I don't think it'll be a problem, but that's how it works. There's like a whole list of things that goes all the way down to conference record, common games, divisional record, stuff like that. But it looks like, in my opinion, at least the Week 16 matchup at Seattle is going to come down and determine who gets the division and who is going to be the 5 or 6 seed in the wild card. So, again, Brian's question here, you guys just joining us, what exactly happens if we have the same record? Well, it's a long list of ways to figure it out, and the NFL will, it'll all be played out, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think we can win out the rest of the season, says Storm Shadow. If we win Sunday, then yes, because Sunday obviously is probably the hardest game we have left beside the Seahawks. When I said Seahawks for Week 16, I meant Week 17 a little bit earlier. Those 2 middle games, very, very winnable. Obviously, the Falcons and the Rams are 2 teams going in wrong directions. I know the Rams had a big win against the Cardinals on us last Sunday, but there's still nothing to write home about. I think we'll be fine in that one at Levi Stadium. But the bookend ones, the Saints and the Seahawks, are 2 tough ones. I would say if we beat the Saints on Sunday, then we're going to win out. If we do not beat the Saints on Sunday, then obviously we'll have 1 more loss, and we'll finish with 3 losses on the year. But it's an interesting schedule, and the Seahawks schedule is similar as well. They have kind of a common theme opponents, like they have Carolina instead of the Falcons. They have the Rams as well, and then they have the Cardinals and then us. So it's a little bit easier because of the Cardinals, but as we found out earlier during the year, the Cardinals are kind of a more difficult team to play than their 3-8 record totally shows. So we'll see. Again, hashtag 49ers, get your questions in. Gus Garcia says, I think our home field advantage is going to come down to Week 16, actually Week 17 against the Seahawks. Yes, 100%. I think this is going to be the game that will decide whether we have home field throughout the entire playoffs or if we're the 5 or 6 seed in the NFC. And again, most likely the 5 seed because probably the NFC North and the Vikings will be the 6 seed, which means we'll play the lowest ranking wild card seed. So most likely we're the 5 seed. That means we'll be playing the 4 seed, which will probably be Dallas or Philadelphia. So that's kind of how it'll work out if it stays as it is right now. Or if you're the 1 seed, then you'll play the lowest winning players or the lowest winning teams from the wild card round, which could be technically the Cowboys or the Vikings would make sense in terms of what happens if you're the 1 seed. So it's a big difference. Again, 3 playoff games on the road is never easy. I think back to the last time it happened, it was Green Bay, I think in 2012 with Aaron Rodgers. They beat Philadelphia on the road. I forget who they beat in the divisional round, and then I'm pretty sure that was them beating, I think they beat the Packers or the Giants on the way to make it to the Super Bowl that year against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, Eli and the Giants did it the first time they beat the Patriots. So it's happened in the last 2 decades, but it's very, very rare in terms of a 6 seed actually going all the way. Speaking of odds to win the NFC West, how about this? BetDSI, our friends there, have Seattle -120, so they're ahead right there, although -110. It's very, very close. And then the Rams, it's like nearly impossible, but they're there at +7,000. And if you guys want to bet on any of this stuff, how about right there, BetDSI, promo code 49ers, chatsports.com/bet. Use again the promo code 49ers. Get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you sign up. So it's like a ton of extra money to bet on the Niners, who have never lost back-to-back games this season so far. Each time they've lost, which again has only been once before last week, they've always won. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But again, get your bets in now, betdsi.com. What does Jose Cortez says? Who's going to get more touches, Breida or Coleman? Well, that gets us into some injury news here. And Breida will be playing on Sunday, which is the big news that is happening. Breida is very, very healthy, finally. He probably would have played last week if it was a playoff game, but they wanted to give him 1 more week of rest and now go ahead and throw him out there against the Saints. So I would give Breida more touches, although I will say this. Tevin Coleman has been bad the last couple of weeks. He's much better whenever he's complimenting Matt Breida. I'm not sure if I like him as a true number 1 running back, but as a 1A, 1B with Breida, he's fantastic. So it doesn't really matter to me, but I think overall, Breida makes a lot of sense in terms of getting more touches because he's actually going to be playing. Tart, that's another one on the injury report there. Obviously, Jaquiski Tart is going to be a game time decision. I think he's going to be a game time decision this week. He didn't show up on the injury report today, which I think it shows that he practiced. I'm trying to remember on that one. So he did. He was limited today, is what I'm being told. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with him. But the Niners overall are getting very, very healthy. You get Breida back, you get Staley back, you're getting Dee Ford back this week. So overall, they're about as healthy as they've been all year. Do you believe Armstead leaving practice is very serious? Oh, wait, great question. So Arik Armstead left practice today, but no worries. He had a Veterans Day off. So this was just like, hey, go home, chill, rest your body, no worries. And of course, Salah was there, or Salah was just saying that it was for a rest day. So again, yeah, it says right there, breathe easy, Niner fans. A lot of people don't realize Arik Armstead is our leading sack leader on the team. He's actually #1 ahead of Nick Bosa. So very, very important defensive end here on the Niners. Did leave practice early today, but basically a false alarm, kind of getting an extra rest. That way he's fully ready to go whenever they take on Drew Brees and those New Orleans Saints. Again, hashtag 49ers, get your questions in right now because take as many questions as we can here on the 49ers Only Chat Sports YouTube channel. Here's your full injury lineup here. Richard Sherman, he's fine. Dee Ford expected to play after missing those 2 games. And then Tart has not practiced this week, although I think he was limited today. So overall, they should be good to go going forward, especially Sherman, who was I was a little scared there in terms of his knee, but he's 100%. He should be good to go. There's some more practice notes right there. Taylor's dealing with the elbow, got Tart and the ribs, and then, of course, the Veterans Day off for Arik Armstead. But overall, this is the big one right here. DJ Jones, good to go. Sherman was limited, but he's going to go. And Dee Ford was limited with the hamstring injury, but he's good to go as well. So, again, they were not that healthy going into the Ravens game. Almost won, lost that one by 3. They will be about at full strength on Sunday against the Saints, which, of course, they need it because this matters in terms of playoff seeding and winning the division as well. So we'll have to wait and see in terms of, people can get injured on the day before. They're going through a walkthrough. It's like, oh, I don't feel good enough, so I might not play. But the reports are that at least Breida, Staley, Sherman, and Ford are all going to go on Sunday, which is very, very important. So keep getting those questions in. Although this is actually a great question. Who do we need more? F for Sherman in the chat, or F for Ford, S for Sherman in the chat. So you guys think it's more important on Sunday? I'm going to go with S. I think Richard Sherman needs to be out there because Michael Thomas, if there wasn't, other quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson in the MVP hunt, Michael Thomas is having an unbelievable year. He might break Marvin Harrison's pass reception record, which is like 130-something passes, and he's on pace for 150. So I would say Sherman is more important this week, although we'll have to wait and see. Again, F for Ford in the chat, S for Sherman on who we need more on Sunday. Here's the offensive injury updates. Again, Matt Breida expected to play. He's been out the past couple of weeks dealing with lower body injury. Staley's returning from that finger surgery, and Pettis has returned to practice at least today, although I think all of us can agree that Dante Pettis with the little light knee injury is not exactly as critical as some other injuries because we know Dante Pettis has struggled this year. Kittle's going to be on the injury report basically every single week from here on out because he has the chip bone in his ankle and also the knee injury, but he's going to play. Breida, you see there full. Debo was full, and of course Emmanuel Sanders. That one's important too. Finally back healthy from the ribs. He played last week, but in my opinion, didn't look like himself. So I think the ribs were bothering him just a little bit, but overall, he should be fully good to go. So again, just want to get you guys the full injury update there in terms of going forward this week, but it looks very, very healthy. I see a lot of S's in the chat for Richard Sherman. I agree with you guys on that. Question here, though, who should start at left tackle? I saw some questions about this earlier. Type old for Staley, type new for School down below, although the Niners have decided that Joe Staley is going to be playing on Sunday. He's coming back from the finger injury and filling in for Justin School, which is interesting because I was very high, and you guys know this on Justin School because he's been filling in very, very well as a rookie at the left tackle position. But past couple of weeks have not been the best for Justin School, showing that rookie side of things a little bit too much. So it looks like they're going to bring Staley back in there. And for me, it makes sense going into the playoffs. You want, the experienced playoff veteran at the left tackle position instead of that rookie. So I'm all for Staley, although a lot of you guys are saying new in the chat. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.